And today we are going to talk about setting up revenue and income accounts within QuickBooks Online. So this is part of a series for setting up your chart of accounts. The first video talks about the importance of chart of accounts, and then I've already gone through the balance sheet account type. So assets, liabilities, and equity. Now we're going to talk about revenue and income. So revenue and income can kind of be used interchangeably. These are accounts that show the amount of money that has been earned or that you've received for providing services or selling products as part of your business. So these accounts are really important the way that we set them up because it's going to allow us to gain some useful information from your reports. So before now, we've talked about balance sheet accounts, which a lot of those are very easy to kind of figure out that you need. Things like checking accounts, savings accounts, those are assets. We know that we have those separate accounts. When it comes to income accounts, those accounts, the way that we set them up, we have a little bit more freedom, but it is important because it provides some good sales data for us to make decisions with. This right here is ABC Creative. This is the homepage. It is a fake company that I use for these videos. And in order to navigate to the chart of accounts, you're going to come here in the left-hand column. You're going to go to chart of accounts, or you're going to go to the upper right-hand corner to the gear icon and click chart of accounts. Now, when it comes to income, you'll see that QuickBooks has given us a couple of different income accounts here. It has given us billable expense income, markup, sales of product income, unapplied cash payment income, and uncategorized income. So we've got lots of different income sources here. Now, I want to go over really quick the unapplied cash payment income and uncategorized income. These accounts are used in QuickBooks Online for some different things. We probably don't want to get rid of these, okay? Unapplied cash payment income is income that has been collected from a customer, but has not been applied to an invoice. So we have taken a payment and there's no invoice to apply them to. That's going to sit in unapplied cash payment income. Essentially, it's saying, hey, we received cash here. You told us, because you entered it as a payment instead of like a sales receipt, you told us it's supposed to be applied to an invoice, but we don't have an invoice in existence here to apply it to, or it hasn't been applied to one. That's important. Like if you have a client who leaves a deposit or something and you record it as a receive of payment, but there's no invoice, it's going to sit in this unapplied cash payment income on a profit and loss report that is run on an accrual basis. Uncategorized income. This is an account that QuickBooks throws in there and says, hey, if you have some sort of deposit and you're not sure where it's supposed to go yet, you can put it in this account, and then that will at least allow you to reconcile your books and reconcile the checking account or wherever this was deposited. And it'll indicate to you, you've got to go figure out where that income came from and categorize it later. So after your financials are done, there should never be uncategorized income on the profit and loss. You should figure out where that goes, but it can be used as a placeholder account. So these two accounts, we don't want to try to make inactive. These other accounts, we can adjust or we can make inactive depending on how we want it to look. You may also have, we don't have other income on here, but there are other income accounts that I'm going to show you. So if we scroll up and click on new, let me show you the types of income that we can have. So we only have two account types under income. We have income and then other income. So income is going to have discounts and refunds given. So this is going to offset our income account. This will show up as a negative number. We have nonprofit income, which the majority of you guys are probably not going to use because you're in business for a profit. We have other primary income, sales of product income, service/fee income, and then we have this unapplied cash payment income. There's already an account there for that. In other income, we have dividend income, interest earned, other investment income, other miscellaneous income, and then tax-exempt interest. This is essentially saying, hey, we recognize you might earn some income from sources that are not what you do for your regular course of business. That's considered other income. That's going to sit on a separate section of your profit and loss. And so we want to keep those separate because in all reality, when we're planning on cash flow or we are looking at how we're profiting from operations, we don't always want to consider this other income. Okay, so when it comes to determining how we want to structure our income accounts, we want to think through, what would be helpful for us in terms of separating out our income, right? What's going to make the most sense for us? How is this going to be most helpful? What's going to make the most sense? How do we want to separate it out? And generally what I recommend doing is if you have some form of service and some form of product that you're selling, oftentimes it's helpful to have like a service income and then have a sales of product income. Okay? And you can name them different things, right? So maybe we have product sales and then we have service sales or something along those lines. It can often be helpful as well if we have, maybe we provide a service and then as part of that agreement, our customers agree to reimburse us for certain things. So we just charge them cost on certain items. So maybe we would have, reimbursable expense income. So this is, income that we're just going to pass on to the customer or that we're going to collect from the customer in order to recoup our expenses. So maybe we don't plan on having a margin there. And then maybe we separate out the service income in a separate area. The goal here is to have useful information without bombarding ourselves with a ton of accounts. So I'm going to show you where these accounts live on the profit and loss, and then you can kind of figure out what makes the most sense for you as far as what income accounts you want to have. And you can always change these. So income is going to live up here. This is a profit and loss statement. So we have income, this is all of our main income, and then we have other income will live down here, okay? And if we have income in various accounts, it will be broken up into these various accounts. So you can see here I have sales, and then I have sales of product income. So maybe, I rename the service or something along those lines, or service income, and then sales of product income. So I know that I made the majority of my money from services rather than selling products. So that's one way to kind of look at it. You can rearrange this however you see fit. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video when we discuss expenses. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate it if you could give us a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.